Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Netter Network Thursday Things. My special guest for tonight had a family emergency, so I switched him to next week, and tonight we're just gonna chill. I know that, I went back to work. When did I go back to work? I went back to work on Monday, so I worked this week, Monday, Tuesday, today, and I'll work tomorrow. I had Wednesday off. But I had been off for like a week and a half, so I really can't complain. But going back to work after being off for a while, it's like you kind of forget what it was you used to do. It's like, how do I do this again? So that was fun. Of course, you all know my co-host, that guy at the end of the bar, the love of my life, Troy Pacelli. How you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
I am doing fine, thank you. I am sipping on a Diet Dr Pepper. I think I'm going to follow this up with a magic soda though, because I think I had a few too many Jelly Babies.
You ate them all?
I ate them all. Yes, I ate all.
You only had 8.
You gave me 8 Jelly Babies. That was a lot of sugar. So now my stomach's a little.
But they're not that sweet.
To me, they're very, very sweet. And yeah, I was off for I should go back in November. I told my supervisor, remember, I'm a contractor, so I don't work in house. As a contractor that works from home, I work over a VPN and all this stuff, and I have credentialing, right? So that I can log in and, they know that it's just me and, everything's secure and whatnot. Well, every year at New Year, my credentialing lapses. And every year, the first day back after the new year, I can't log in. So back in November, I told my supervisor, this happens every year. Can we do whatever we need to do to extend, assuming you want me to continue working for you, can you extend out my credentials through 2025 so that we don't have this problem come, the first day of the year? He says, oh yeah, I'll put in a ticket right now. Well, here we are 2 months later. I come back. I can't log in. So guess what, boss? I can't log in.
Glad we're so proactive here.
It was, yeah. I said, that's exactly what I said to him. I said, I'm so glad that we were proactive. Can you imagine if we weren't proactive? They didn't get me up and running until midday. So, as you would expect, you come back from a holiday and there's a lot of work to be done. And, well, there's still a lot of work to be done because couldn't get it all done in the 4 hours I had left in the day.
Shoot.
So, yeah, it's just a Diet Dr. Pepper, but you better believe it'll be something a lot stronger tomorrow.
Yeah, and of course, I'm drinking my Meyer brand sparkling water berry, not a sponsored stream.
Well, it kind of is a sponsored stream because you have a super chat from Geek Flag with Nate Knows.
I'm in the wrong screen. Come on, there we go. Happy New Year, Dom Netter and Herman Troy. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, before we start ranting more, we really should say hello to the chat.
Yes.
First up was Lady Mist at 5:50 p.m. with her hellos and hearts and flowers. Thank you, sweetie.
And the only reason that she was 5:50 was because that's when you got the stream put up, right?
Yeah, because that's what I found out. Yeah, that's why I found out that my guest wasn't going to make it, so I had to do this stream. And we have JPRPH1 doing all the emojis for Netters Network, Smolder, Netters Net, Retro Cinema, and Smile. Connie Cleary saying hello to the chat.
Hello, the chat. Yes.
Saying hello to each other. Curtis Selby with his tired blogger Ray. Woohoo! Mark Malinikoff. Tired blogger Ray. Kapla, release the Netterbot.
Yes, exactly.
I always get confused if I said hello to Connie or to Curtis because they both are C names. But so if I didn't say hello to Curtis, I'm saying hello now. Kapla, glory to, oh yeah, I did.
And I misread that. I thought it said Mark Malniclough, glory to you and your horse.
Deleted. See, it's giving his.
I'm like, wow, that's real honor. Honor to you and the horse you rode in on.
And of course, Geek Flag with Nate's with that $2 supers chat. Thank you so much. Gorilla's Censored Thoughts. Oh, I sound kind of quiet to me. Do I sound quiet to anybody else? Maybe I just need to turn up my own volume. No, now I sound better.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Gorilla Censored Thoughts. Hey, keep it down. It's Purge night, and I'm trying to hide from all these lunatics.
You know, after New Year's Eve, I kind of thought it was the Purge. I expect more to come.
Yeah. JPRPH1 is a member for 2 months. Yes. Saying hello, Happy New Year to everyone.
So I have a little bit of feedback for everybody from our recent guest, Culture Casino.
Oh.
He had very nice things to say about all of you in the chat. He said that we have a wonderful network, or whatever you want to call it, community. Of course, many, many of you are already part of Culture Casino's community as well. So, I mean, he kind of sees himself as, what do they call those? The Zen, not Zen diagram. Whatever, those circular diagrams that overlap. He sees his community and our community definitely overlapping. But I thought that was a really nice compliment.
Yes.
From a YouTuber of his caliber.
Yeah, really. It's like, little me channel. It's like, because if you guys were there, it's like, I'm amazed that when I go to some of these bigger YouTubers and I just say hello in the chat, and my thing is always hi, sweetie. Yeah. I'm known for my hi, sweeties. And some of these bigger YouTubers are like, oh, Netter's in the chat. And it's like, they know who I am.
Yeah. And, like, especially in cultures, but in Midnight's Edge too, and a lot of them, you've got those blue wrenches that are there saying hi to everybody. And then I think, okay, we've got that too. We got Curtis, we got Lady Miss, we got Deleted Scenes. All of you guys that have blue wrenches, really, you guys are quick to be saying hi to everybody, and Connie and so forth. But I know Netter does that wherever she is, whether she's got a blue wrench or not. She's the hi, sweetie girl.
Yeah, I try. Oh, Geek Flag has also been a member for 2 months. My horse is full of glory. And then Curtis Selby gave a $2 super chat.
Oh,
glory to all and the horse I rode in on.
I like that. So, just a little piece of Klingon trivia. I don't know if you knew.
And Joker Voice. Hi, kitties. Happy 2025.
Mr. J. Welcome. So good to see you, my friend. Haven't seen you in a while. You are good people. Talk about, wonderful community, and boom, Mr. J shows up.
Yep, I gotta get you on my channel for another
day, just to hang out with us. If you're usually available on Thursday nights, let's get you on Netter's Network again. But what I was gonna say is a little bit of Klingon trivia. You may not realize this, but there is a horse-like animal that is native to Klatnosh, and it's called a sarg. That, I guess you'd spell that in English, S-A-R-G-H, sarg. It's a 4-legged, burden beast. You can ride it. There are illustrations of Kailash and his warriors riding into battle on them. So, it's like a horse. Kind of like somewhere between a horse and a rhinoceros. Anyway.
Yeah, and of course I want to say hello to the lovely Sherry. She's saying hi to Netter and Tro with little hearts. Thank you,
lovely
sweetie.
Sherry. Haven't seen you here in a while. So glad you're here.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I said, when you guys aren't here,
we miss you. We miss you. Absolutely. So. Yeah.
Joker Voice says, I'm available now. Throw me a link.
Well, I mean, we could if you want. I mean, you're kind of we're already into the show, but yeah, Do you want to do that? I could do that. I'll send it.
Yeah,
I'll
go ahead.
how do I do that? I do invite. Yeah,
And
there
then you
it
do
is.
invite, and you grab the link.
And then I have to go back to the other browser.
Yeah, it's like I said, this is just a chill stream. You know, my guest couldn't make it because he had a family emergency, so he's now going to be on next week. And
Is this the one?
the
Yeah,
family member
this
in
is the
question is doing much better. But, you know, of course, they're not going to come onto the show when, you know, they're taking care of family. And I fully support that. Family comes first. And I think now I said hello to everybody in the chat verbally and with my hi sweeties. If I missed you, please let me know.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think I got everybody. It was like going back through, and so I think I got everybody. So it's like, yeah, it's so cool. I got members. And they actually stuck around because I got a couple that have been here for 2 months.
Wonderful community. We really
do. We have an amazing community. They're Osmo.
Yes, they are. There we go.
Here's a bloop.
I heard a bloop.
I heard the bloop. Mr. J.
Hello, all you lovely people.
Boy, it's been a while. How have you been?
I've been. Happy New Year to everyone in the chat. Happy New Year and all that other festive stuff.
So, you have had a very interesting year. Your channel is I'm not going to say it's changed formats, but you've really gotten into the wrestling stuff, right?
I did almost a complete content shift. Yes, I did.
Okay.
That came just doing the genre stuff. Of course, it's fun to talk movies and TV and everything that's wrong with it. But then I'm finding myself watching stuff just to watch things that I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
And I've always been a fan of wrestling. I've been watching professional wrestling since WrestleMania 1. And in April, we will be at WrestleMania 41. So I've been watching it off and on for most of my life. And I'm like, alrighty, cool. And so just something that, yes, while I can still objectively look at the product as it's evolved over the years, I can still enjoy it as a fan and not be pointing stuff out like, oh, well, that's patriarchy, that's this propaganda, that's that propaganda.
Yeah.
So I've just enjoyed it more, and I'm actually enjoying making the content. And there's always something to talk about when it comes to the world of professional wrestling.
Well, good. And it's is it going well for you? Being well received?
It's, again, I knew I was going to take a hit as far as like views and hours and, you know, the sub growth, but, you know, I'm just powering through it. I've got a show on which we are making our return. We took 2 weeks off for the holidays, and that's Wednesday night is overbooked with myself, Matt the Unbearable 73, Brad Duke Devil 95, and the guy who was supposed to be here tonight, Left Eye Ego. We're all we have that fun show.
Yeah. Good. So how have you been? Because I haven't had a chance to touch base with you on, you know, that other stuff, you know, that we started getting some news about this year. The what are they calling it now? DC Studios, I think, is what they're
correct.
Calling it. I'm glad they finally took ownership of it and called it something instead of complaining about what the fans called it, right?
Well, yeah. So this was the move that Zaslav did, where he took DC, where it was just DC Films, which was a subdivision of the Warner Brothers, and just made it its own studio now.
And I think there's some wisdom there. Yeah. So there's plenty of, and even Boomer and I haven't covered it that much on Geeky Geezers, because there are plenty of YouTubers really digging into it. But
Yeah, and
yeah, it doesn't look like we're getting a lot of. It's just different chefs, same restaurant, is what it seems like.
well, I mean, okay. Here's my thought of this. For one, it's James Gunn. So James Gunn, as opposed to the hacks at Marvel for the last few years,
Mm-hmm.
he is a true creative, and sometimes the problem with being a creative is you cannot get out of your own way. And that's why he has Saffron there to kind of try and rein him in. And the Superman project, it's from what I'm hearing, just from a monetary standard, this thing needs to be an absolute banger. Absolutely, it needs this. This can't be like if you're coming up to the plate, you can't hit a double. This has to be a home run. I'm still cautiously optimistic, just from some of the things that Gunn has said and some of the elements that I've seen up to this point. Like when Gunn has said, Superman is to embody truth, justice in the American way.
Has he actually said that phrase?
Mm-hmm.
I had not heard that. Okay.
Yep.
That is encouraging.
And then in the teaser trailer that we got, where you hear the obvious homage to the original 1978 score, it's done by guitar, but it's still very much the John Williams score.
Yeah.
I am, again, I'm going to be optimistic. Maybe I'm just a little biased because I want this to do well, and so I'm going to geek. That's kind of true. This depends on this, and I think a lot of folks are judging this film by what some of his future projects are going to be, because the next film they have set up is Supergirl, which is based off the Tom King run of Supergirl comics, and they were folks who know a lot more about comics than I do, like Gary and Pops. Tom King is they hear Tom King and the red flags are going off in their
understandable heads. Yeah, understandable. But here's my take. Okay, so lots of good. Okay, I'm going to agree with you on lots of good. Right. I know that this is polarizing, but I don't care. Seeing Crypto, he's a good boy.
That's a good boy.
I was fired up.
That's a good boy.
Fired up, right?
Right.
People want to pick apart, Superman, especially the political stance. This is no. Well, yes, them too, but they're actually only a subset of it. There's a lot of others, and I'm careful not to fall into it myself, of the political mind, because, he comes out and he says, well, this is representative of our country, the bloodied, beaten, and battered, and people are already like, even if I were to agree with your politics, and I know your politics, so I don't agree with your politics, but even if I did, we're sick and tired of that political BS in our movies. Do you guys not understand that? But if the story's done well and they don't make him a complete punk, then, and he really does stand for truth, justice, and the American way.
Right.
I can take that. I can retroactively look back at the comment and go, okay, I see what he meant. There is a lot. So this is something I had said to Boomer a while back, when I had predicted what they should do with Superman is not retell his origin of freaking again.
No.
They should do kind of what Marvel did with Spider-Man and just go, look, You have your favorite Spider-Man origin character. You guys already know that. This guy has the same origin. Let's just go from here.
Right.
Okay,
And
fine. I can accept that.
that was the smart thing with the first Tom Holland film, as he was already
Right, exactly.
he had
The
already
problem that Tom Holland had, and this is, I can hardly blame it on Sony, but they do share the burden, is establishing what of his origin and his background and his future and the world building, where does he stand? And to this day, we don't know. We don't know where he stands in the multiverse in relationship to Marvel. Superman doesn't have the same problem, really, but he kind of does, because you need to be able to weave in elements of the continuity you want there
right.
for establishing your world building and your future stories. But you have to do it in an elegant enough way. I always say sometimes one line in dialogue is enough to tell you a lot,
Right.
And will he do that? I hope so.
Now, what I saw in the trailer. So you see Green Lantern Guy Gardner.
Mhm.
You see Hawk Girl, and you see Mr. Terrific
And Metamorpho.
and the Metamorpho. But the first three names that I specifically said,
Sure.
their costumes all have a similar look
Right.
to them.
They're
So-
currently on a team together. We assume it's related to Maxwell Lord's organization or whatever.
Like the Justice Society or something
Yeah.
along these lines. So kind of establishing that there have been superheroes on Earth before Superman got here, which
Right.
is true.
Right.
So
My concern with that, though, that takes me into the reticence of it, is if you have Superman, your tentpole character, in a movie called Superman, and he's not even the star of his own trailer.
Well, yeah, okay. So
I'm concerned about how much Superman we're going to get out of this Superman movie.
That's what this has to be. And again, when folks talk about the trailer and the teaser, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
and they're like, and I go to the same thing every time. I'm like, look, guys, we have all seen the same 120 seconds of this.
Right.
This film is 120 minutes at least. So we've seen a fraction of a fraction of this film. So, and we don't even know if what we see in the trailer is going to make it into the film even. So
yeah, see, unfortunately, that part is something I hadn't considered, and that's way too true these days. We got over on Retro Blasting, Michael French is working on a deep dive on Rogue One. And what he's doing is he's digging into the original trailer and comparing the trailer to the actual scenes we got from Rogue One and showing how different it was.
Oh, yeah.
And how many things were so different. It probably was a whole different movie. And unfortunately, that's what so many trailers have become. It's a different movie entirely.
I mean, there were clips in Avengers Infinity War that were never in the film.
Yes, exactly right. And I guess I can accept some of that if they show up as DVD extras and stuff like that. But here's my problem. The people that have concerns based on that trailer, I feel that's legitimate, because that's what a trailer is for. It's supposed to communicate something to you about what it's going to be about.
It's supposed to just to whet your appetite.
And if fans come away with it with any concerns, their marketing department and their editors didn't do their job right.
Okay, and I will say this, and they showing the extra characters. I mean that good boy, show the good boy. Keep
yes.
showing.
I'll tell you, if the whole trailer had been that scene with Crypto, that would have been what I consider a teaser trailer. It would have been like, I have no idea how he got busted up, but I'm in.
And And what this film needs to be, and Pops and I've talked about this, and we've talked about other things. This film needs to be a Superman film.
Yes, yes, it does. And somebody's got to help Clark style his hair. Damn it! I mean, oh my gosh,
Right?
that bird's nest looks terrible. But it is Clark, so I mean, I
Right, it
guess
is Clark.
I guess that makes sense, right?
And then
you got to dork him up a little bit.
And then I was talking with Pops. We were talking about, and Gary had said at this too, that we went into a series kind of like, okay, what is this about? And we're actually excited for a second Matt Reeves Batman film. Now, The Penguin. The Penguin was great. Absolutely great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't seen it. And I got to tell you, part of that is because for the longest time, I haven't known where to invest my interest in DC. They've had so many parallel universes going on all over the damn place. And
It's like
honestly,
Marvel now.
I don't
It's like Marvel
see
now.
that getting ironed out anytime soon. We still have a Gunn going in and saying, oh, yeah, the Peacemaker and all that, that's still canon.
Well,
But, you
that's
know, some of
his.
this other stuff is. So it's like, what is now canon? What isn't? You should have made this a clean break and you didn't do that. You know, just real quick, I want to say hi to Joe's Atmosphere. I saw
Right.
that he jumped in here.
Hello, Joe.
Good to see you, my friend. And
On that movie that you didn't think that I had gotten for you, it's on its way.
Ooh.
And so I had to contact the seller for the second one I ordered and asked him to cancel. I haven't heard back yet, though.
oh, sorry. Well, I didn't know what you hadn't had in order. I just knew we didn't have it in house. She's talking about a Deadpool Wolverine, which we haven't
Wow.
seen yet. And I was like, because I knew we were going to get it on DVD anyway, so I'm like, you know, let's just get that physical media in the house.
Out of
And hello to Big Al Presents.
Hey, Big Al.
out of 10, I rated Wolverine and Deadpool a 4.
Really? You didn't like it?
Not really.
Man, that's
It's
too
just-
bad.
It's a lot of this.
Yeah.
It's a
But
lot
then
of
again, that's kind of always been part of Deadpool, even even in the comics. Really,
Right.
it's just references and references and references. Doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's probably why it works. It's really hard to get really pissed at it because you know it's like canon light. You know,
There's
he
that.
messes with canon. It's like, well, that's okay. It's Deadpool. It doesn't matter.
There is that.
But yeah, it has been frustrating, and I do feel though that the entertainment industry is learning its lesson. If the only lesson it's learning is you need to start listening to the fans. So everything that we've said, good and bad, I agree with you, especially on we don't know until it comes out. I'm not going to be there opening day.
I will.
But when, okay, great. Then when you go, you can do your review, and then I'll decide if I want to go see it or not. You know, you and Big Al and you know all the other people that review that I respect and would you see the movie so I don't have to.
Kind of, yeah.
If I don't like it, and then if you do like it, oh, okay, well then I will go see it.
And this is the part that, even though I've shifted content for those who still miss my reviews of stuff,
Yeah.
if there's something I really enjoyed, I will let you know. I'll give a review. Like I went and saw Nosferatu. Excellent film.
Was it good? Yeah.
Excellent film.
I tell you, I loved Midnight's Edge's upscale of it. The original. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, now I'd be interested to go see a new take on it.
Yeah,
but,
out of 10, I gave Nosferatu a 7.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, I'm definitely gonna. Not only am I gonna end up checking that out, I almost certainly have to get that one on physical media as well.
Definitely.
But
especially if you like Robert Eggers films. I mean, this is his fourth film.
Yeah,
He did The Witch, which I enjoyed.
Right.
He did The Northman, which I really enjoyed, and I haven't seen The Lighthouse. But so I've seen 3 of his or films.
I've
and
seen
enjoyed it.
enough of The Lighthouse to know that I would really like it under certain circumstances. So I will see it then under
Gotcha.
those circumstances. But yeah, there are just some films that it's like, yes, I definitely want to see that, just not right now.
Gotcha.
But I do feel that the entertainment industry is beginning to, maybe they're being forced to listen to the fans now. So I am hearing a lot of, scuttlebutt from the DC side about concerns and going back to do some pickups and tweaks and whatnot. And I believe it's because they're listening to the fans.
Right. And this is,
and maybe it's an overcorrection. I hope that's not the case. I hope they're not going, oh no, this is going to be a travesty. But
well, that's also really not James Gunn's style. I mean, James Gunn is not known for doing lots of reshoots. He gets a script, he gets it done, and he locks in, and that's the project that he does. Now, may he tweak here and there, possibly, but it's not going to be anything like what goes on at Marvel, because that
they completely redo the whole film from scratch. Or
yeah, Captain America: Brave New World. That thing has been reshot the entire film twice.
Captain America: Brave New World 3. I mean, how many times do you have the third movie and the first one hasn't even come out yet? I mean, that's what we're basically getting there.
I think
more like,
that film has no chance of making the money at all.
They've already sunk themselves. My thought is more along the lines of I think the early trendsetter was Sonic, when they took the fan response and said, oh, we need to fix these graphics, and they did it. And it was a huge hit. And now they're on their third film, and it's doing gangbusters. Hopefully, if they're going to do anything like that with Superman, they look at it and go, you know what? Yeah, maybe we got too much of the future Justice League International. Let's trim them out a little bit so we can focus on Superman more. Because here's the thing, and this is every time I've talked about this on social media, I've said hashtag Marvel mistakes. Turning a movie into an ad for all the rest of your content coming out. Don't worry if you don't enjoy this. This is really just an ad for our next ad for our next ad.
Right.
And it's like, no. Go back to how Marvel started. Iron Man, Captain America, First Avenger, The Incredible Hulk, Thor. These movies were standalone films before they started putting a little stinger at the end to introduce you to.
Right. And so this is what Marvel did. And it started with Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
You get the film, an Iron Man film,
mm-hmm.
and then after the last credits have rolled, you get that teaser with Nick Fury. And I want to talk to you about the Avengers initiative. Oh, and now everyone just goes.
Yes, exactly. And that's where the excitement comes from. But if that's all peppered throughout the film, it's not a taste, it's not a tease, it's a flash. Hey, look at these,
Right.
So I don't know, man. But I do think that the general trend, not DC specific, but everything else that I'm seeing is a lot of people starting to. I think we're culturally turning the bend here.
We are. I think we are, and we've been seeing it as far as entertainment geared toward kids. I mean, Disney is no longer the king of family entertainment. That now belongs to Universal.
Yeah, and even on New Year's Eve when we had whichever network that was, the comedian chick, hitting us with all these jokes about the Biden administration and Boeing and stuff. And I'm like, we would not have seen stuff like that on general media.
No.
Just 6 months ago. We have now cross back across the Rubicon so that people can make jokes again, for crying out loud.
Right.
You know?
And jokes are a good thing. Jokes are a good
Mhm.
thing.
I mean, I think people forget that regardless of what your political affiliation is, we have certain things in common. Like we hold the First Amendment in very high regard. And when we start seeing people trampling on that, we get really, really angry. And, you know,
one thing I've learned about, one thing I've learned through my years is that comedy is saying saying uncomfortable truths. It's meant to make you feel like, oh, okay, that might hey, hit a little close to home, and then you laugh about it. It's like, okay, you're right.
Yeah, but they're not really wrong. And see, I'm hearing a lot of people, that would have voted for Biden, kind of agreeing with some of the things that people are saying about Biden. They're like, yeah, that wasn't really, and okay, yeah, I kind of see what they were saying. One thing I hadn't even thought to bring this up, but Nate makes a point. I think you're being a little strong. I'd say that this suit is way better than the
Cavill suit. Yes, the Cavill
thank
suit.
you. Yeah. Again, I do want to say Cavill was not a bad casting. He looked the part, but that suit was awful. They brought the trunks back. I like the cape. I do not like the collar. It looks like an SS uniform.
That's been a little bit.
And honestly, I understand that that's the Kingdom Come, like an early version of the Kingdom Come S. I don't like that. That sends a bad message, in my opinion. That tells me we're leading up to Kingdom Come as our future, and that was meant to be an Elseworld. And I'm not kind of digging that. A lot of people have said the suit doesn't look like it fits him very well. Like he's not as beefy as well, really any of the previous Supermans were.
Okay, well, I mean,
and I don't think that's him, because I've seen him as Clark. He looks like a big buff guy. It may not be tailored well enough for him.
I go back to this. Okay, if you go back through Superman, through the visual media, through out the years, George Reeves. I mean, okay, yeah, he's wearing like Lycra all over him, and then you have Christopher Reeve, who a tall man. I would never call him a specimen like Cavill was. And then you got Hawk Girl, Guy Gardner. Yes, I think they're like the Justice Society or Justice League International. That's what I thought.
Yes. Literally just before you came in, and I knew you meant Hawk Girl, not Hawkeye. That's right. It's the other guys. I am guessing that they're going to have a different. I don't think it's going to be Justice something or other. I think it's going to be like Maxwell Lord Enterprises something, or I don't know, some kind of primordial something that and I had made a reference to Justice League International. Boomer, when we were talking about this on Sunday, got all excited. He's like, I would love a Justice League International movie. And I'm like, yeah, I would too. Not entirely certain that's how he's going with it.
Right.
And I think we need a Justice League of America before we have Justice League International.
Well,
we need our tentpole characters first, and then they break up, and then you get the goofy, silly, take in the stray cat, Booster Gold, all that kind of stuff,
Which James Gunn has one of his projects that he's not deviating from, because he loved this story. He loved this comic series. Was he's bringing in the authority? Yeah, and I'm like, I can take it or leave. I could take it or leave it.
It does cause me some concerns, because it's like, well, that's great. They are new to most audiences.
But it's very niche. It's very niche.
It is niche, and it's not what you want when you're trying to establish this iconic brand. It's, again, you're throwing stuff in that maybe, like I said, Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl in a Superman movie. You can do it, I think it's kind of ill-advised. You're going to throw in the authority into something that should be Justice League building. You can do it. I don't think it's a great idea, but I did want to thank Joe's Atmosphere for the contribution.
Yes.
You are,
Oh yes. So
wonderful.
I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I want good things to happen. The fact that it's gotten this much traffic and this much talk is a good thing, though. Is a good thing.
True, that is true. It tells me here's a good. And I hadn't thought about this before. I think it kind of flies in the face of everyone talking about superhero fatigue. Clearly, there isn't superhero fatigue.
If there's bad film fatigue.
Yes, exactly right. And that's where the concern lies. Everybody's concerns about this movie is, are they going to continue to make the mistakes of the past?
Right.
And there are a couple things that stand out, and I'm going, yeah, too many characters, too much of an advert for a future film. I know it's a minor thing, but Perry Black kind of still pisses me off. It's still a race swap. These race swaps have got to stop,
And I mean, and if the one of the biggest complaints or discussions is the costume, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And let me tell you something. Speaking of costumes that I had been concerned about and was pleasantly surprised by was Mr. Terrific's.
Yes, looked very good.
I couldn't even imagine how they were going to do if it was going to be mask or makeup or whatever, and they did it. I was like, yeah, that's what he would look like in real life. They kind of nailed that one.
I agree.
Kind of looking forward to that character too. I think he's an underutilized character in the comic.
Well, I mean, because we saw him in the Arrow series, and I've heard folks say that the Arrow show's version of Mr. Terrific was the better. And I'm like, okay, stop, because if your basis of this is a CW series where they got the title character completely wrong from the get-go.
Exactly.
Because Oliver Queen, they tried to make him Bruce Wayne.
Okay, no, I disagree with anyone who's saying that because I just looked it up. I didn't know he was in CW. I just looked him up, and he looks like a black clown.
Yeah.
I like what they did I'm going to call balls and strikes, and when I see something I like, I'm gonna say I like it.
Right.
I like how Mr. Terrific looked in that trailer.
Right.
Kind of wish he'd get his own movie, to be honest with you.
Again, very niche. Again, very niche.
Or if not a movie, I don't know, a mini series on your streaming service or whatever.
On Max. And this is what I think that they should do. The films need to be your tent pole characters. They need to be Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, your big three. That's your big three. And then your series is on Max. You could do a Booster Gold. You can do I guess a tent pole, a lantern. You could do as well. But your series are more these niche characters that you can give more of a story and actually introduce them to a broader audience than just shoehorning them into films.
I like welcome, by the way. Sashi says if we're doing race swaps, I demand Asian representation. I agree with you. And see, this is the thing: you don't have to swap.
No,
because and this was true with Marvel too. But we're talking about DC. DC has been diverse for a long time. Those characters already exist. Please give them to us. I want those black characters. I want those Asian characters. Those heroes exist, and I have liked them for a very, very long time. Correct. But instead, you tokenize them, and you let's make Perry White black, because that gets ticks a check mark. Really? How about John Henry Irons?
Nothing wrong with Steel.
But don't even bring him in as Steel right away. Introduce him as John Henry Irons first. Let us
Which-
see his origin over a couple movies or something
Which,
like that.
which they did, which they kind of did in the Superman and Lois TV show.
They actually also did it. Didn't they do it with in Smallville too? I think.
I didn't see a
Oh,
lot.
I'm getting fuzzy memory about that now.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I fear that we will watch this movie and say to ourselves, I wish I had Gunn's story
no.
with Snyder's visuals.
No.
Depends on what he means by Snyder's visuals, because there's a couple different things here.
A lot of slow-mos. A lot of slow-mos.
Yeah, we don't need, but I don't know. There are, and there was some that I saw in this trailer too. There are times when you use the so-called bullet time, right? When you're doing the Flash or Superman or Wonder Woman, and they are reacting in their super speed, that's the time you do the slowdown.
When Superman saves that little girl.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Yes.
Perfect use of it. And this is what this Superman film needs to be. We need to see Superman saving people. Batman fights bad guys. Superman saves people.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. And that's why I was thinking about, and I really haven't seen that last Snyder film, the one that they did the Snyder cut of or whatever.
I have.
But that whole bit with Superman like turning and looking at the Flash or whatever, and that whole slow-mo sequence, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. They're both moving in super speed or whatever. I saw a bit in Wonder Woman, or oh no, maybe that was the same thing, where Wonder Woman was doing the deflecting the bullets, literal bullet time, right? I mean, how else are you going to do it? That makes sense. But what Gunn is doing now, the saturated colors and stuff, salute. There you go. What you drinking?
I'm on brand, dude.
Jameson, yes. I may have a Jameson tomorrow, actually.
I'm on brand, baby.
There you go.
Oh, it's Jameson.
But
yeah.
However, though,
$5 super chat.
Oh, sorry. Am I falling behind here?
No, we got this one already.
We'll watch
oh yeah, I was just
for ourselves. I wish I had Gunn's story with Schneider's visit.
Yeah, so if you're talking bullet time, I'm with you on that. But it was so dark, I didn't like that.
I'll say this about Snyder, and this is my thing about Snyder is this, and a lot of folks go with the Watchmen film. Fine film. Film. It's panel for panel from the comic.
Yes.
Except the third act, and we won't talk about that. But if Snyder has a blueprint, if Snyder has a blueprint that he can follow, he's fine.
The other one I would say would be the 300. The 300 was the same thing. He he treated it like it was a storyboard.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, fine. Great. Perfect.
But if Snyder has to think, he's in trouble.
Because what did he do with Superman? He took Dark Knight Returns, and he took The Death of Superman, and he took a whole bunch of other comics that he wanted to lead up to, threw them in the blender, hit what the hell, and came out with a mush that was not a coherent story. All those stories he wanted to tell, you need to lead up to, and he didn't lay that groundwork.
And I have said this about Man of Steel. Man of Steel is a decent superhero film, but it's a terrible Superman film.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah. No. I agree with you 100%. I mean, let's face it, it's not as bad as The Boys or something if you're trying to tell a Superman story.
Oh, okay. I have a soft.
Another super chat.
Go ahead. What?
I missed Joe's atmosphere.
We brought that one up too. We got it.
I missed it.
I'm hitting them. That's great.
Okay. Thank you, Joe.
What were you going to say about The Boys?
I have a soft spot for The Boys. Now, we have talked about entertainment that is woke and has all the check boxes and stuff in it. I know going into The Boys, I know what I'm expecting. It made that hard left turn in season 2. Season 3, they kind of course corrected a bit, but it's still very heavy one side of the aisle.
Yeah.
But in season one, the performances, and they're still great to this day. Carl Urban and Anthony Starr. I love those two characters.
Is Anthony Starr the Superman analog? Okay.
Homelander,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And he's wonderful, absolutely wonderful in it. And Carl Urban is great in just about anything he does. So I'm just saying.
Sashi.
Oh, you saw that?
Yeah, I was just thinking about it, and then I realized what he was saying. Yes. No, you're absolutely right.
I mean,
But but I think you're mistaking me. Yes, if you're going into it as a TV series based on The Boys, absolutely. I meant as a Superman. If it was a Superman movie, that is not Superman.
No.
You know? And I kind of felt like, sure, the Snyder interpretation of Superman was better than Homelander, but that's not necessarily, a high bar for a Superman movie. I had real problems with the storytelling elements of what he was doing with Superman.
And the problem with that film, it came from Pa Kent. And where
you're not wrong.
In the story where Clark saves the school bus full of kids.
Yes.
And one of the neighbors is talking divine providence, blah 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 blah, and Pa Kent is like, Clark, we talked about this, and Clark says, should I have just let them die?
Yeah.
And Pa Kent goes, maybe. No, would never say that. Would never say that.
Exactly.
And the tornado scene where Clark could clearly save him, and he goes, no.
Yeah.
No, that's not Superman.
We've had such good representations of Jonathan Kent, whether it was Glenn Ford in the original film, John Schneider in Smallville. Those are the ones that say, I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the actor's name from Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that was a while ago.
Which I think is kind of based on what I saw in that little trailer for Superman. It looks like what they're going for, that particular version where he's still alive, but he probably won't be around for much longer. Let's face it, Jonathan's death is
a huge part.
It's maybe not as big as Uncle Ben, but it's kind of up there. It is important. It is necessary. Right. But his, like Uncle Ben, he is that father figure that teaches the superhero about the responsibilities, right?
He's the compass.
When Glenn Ford says, you have these powers for a reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that reason is, but it's a reason, right?
Right.
And honestly, I really felt like the John Schneider was drawing off that same thing where, you got to do what's right. I want you to protect your secret identity, but you still have a responsibility with these powers.
And I just want to say from Smallville, the beautiful irony that the voice
yes,
the voice of Jor-El is General Zod from Superman.
I know, right? Absolutely true.
Love it.
I agree with you.
Love it.
In fact, it was so well done. There was a season there where I was like, wait a minute. Is this really Jor-El, or is this some sort of
Zod hybrid thing?
When they introduced Zod and it was a completely different actor, I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing there. Okay, good on you guys.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I will say, just from a red-blooded American male who was watching Smallville at the time, Supergirl was very easy on the eyes.
That was a great casting for Supergirl. You're absolutely right. They need to. I've seen the actress who's going to be playing Supergirl.
Millie Alcock.
Yeah, she needs
She
to
is-
be.
She
She needs to be
was
Supergirl. Let's put it
she
that way.
was in House of the Dragon, season
Yes.
1.
Which, if I just look at that, I'm like, not so sure.
Well, she's got some chops as far as acting goes.
She's got the acting chops. That's true. But let's face it, when it comes to the looks, that's really up to the makeup people and the costume people. Because look, we know from Rose Tico, you can take a very beautiful woman
make her look
and make
ugly.
her not very attractive, right?
Which I will say, James Gunn, all the credit in the world. The casting of Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, from what I've seen in that trailer, absolutely freaking nails it. They have the look of Lois
Yeah.
Lane.
Oh
And-
yeah, and she's beautiful. She's
Yes.
beautiful.
Okay, to answer the question, I don't know who David Cornsweet is.
He's
He
the
is the current
Superman
Superman.
in this new trailer.
I don't know if I've seen the new trailer.
You're right, because we didn't play it on Yeezers for
Yeah.
obvious reasons.
So,
So I might have to
unknown
show
guy
it to
or
you.
Henry Cavill. Okay.
Don't say
Is
Cavill.
he? Does he got the right chin?
Yeah,
He's got,
he
that
does.
he's
little
got the
dimple?
chin and the jaw. In fact, I've heard a lot of people
Okay.
saying that he
I gotta
looks
look this guy up.
More
to
like
see what
Reeve.
he
he's like.
looks a lot like
Reeve.
a young Henry Cavill, which is weird.
I've
but-
heard Reeve.
I can see it. You
I've
see-
actually heard Reeve.
Yeah, this
Kinda
guy,
Reeve.
Corn Sweet, whatever his name is, over Cavill.
I have pointed out, I don't know how he pronounces it, but it is
Cornsweet.
spelled Corin Sweat.
Sweat.
Yeah.
So,
First of all, he's younger,
yes.
Mhm.
so he doesn't look like an old man.
Which I think is good casting. That's
Yeah.
that's
Mhm.
smart.
You're right. He's got the chin, the jaw. He
As-
needs blue, I can't see pictures of him with abs, but he needs blue eyes though.
And
I believe.
well, they can do that visually, but also
Let me see the trailer.
when he's Superman, he
Uh-huh.
has the little spit curl.
Spit curl. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you need the
Exactly.
curl.
Exactly. I always, that was the one thing I thought was weird about Lois and Clark, where Dean Kane's Superman and Clark Kent, the hairstyles were reversed.
Oh, he's the guy that's bleeding in the snow.
Yes.
Yes,
But that's a bad representation of it.
but
You
that's a
kind
good
of
doggy.
almost have to look at him as Clark, where he's
But-
got a bird nest on
Yeah.
his head.
But that's a good
But it-
doggy.
Yes, that's a good doggy. I agree 100%. I'll tell you something else. The CG on Crypto
That's a real
is
dog.
better than anything that Disney has done with their, in quotes, live
Okay.
action characters.
That's
I
a real
like
dog.
As Superman,
Oh, is it? Okay.
I don't like the suit.
Yeah, there's some things I don't like about the suit.
The
I agree
suit
with
looks
you.
like rubber. It doesn't look like the
It's
super
the same
suit.
thing I said about what's his name?
Oh yeah, and in this trailer he has blue eyes.
Yes, and it's the same thing I was saying about the Zack Snyder Superman. What's his name again?
Cavill.
Cavill, right? Looks the part.
He's just
Doesn't
jacked.
mean that the suit they give him is necessarily the best,
Yeah.
and you can't blame the actor for that. So,
Now there is a Superman actor who gets a bad rap, and it's really not his fault, and that's Brandon Routh.
actually, he was another one that I thought looked like what they intended him to be, the continuation of
Right.
Christopher
Christopher
Reeve.
Reeve, right? So,
Uh,
and I've always said that Christopher Routh was not playing Superman in Superman: The Returns. He was playing Christopher Reeve playing Superman.
Right. I agree with you. That is absolutely true. I felt like he came into his own. Again, I hate to go back to the CW again, but when they
Legends of
cast
Tomorrow?
him,
As
Yeah.
Adam.
well, I wasn't even going to say that. I was going to say when they did their Crisis on Infinite Earths, and he played the
Right, a version of Superman. Yes,
you know, he was spot on. And I'm like, you know, he never really did get his due, I felt.
No.
Because he's an actor, and
Right.
actors can play different roles, and he did exactly what he was told to. But for as good as the casting was in Superman Returns, the Lois Lane, Kate, what is it, Kate?
Beckinsale?
No,
Bosworth.
Bosworth. Was not a good casting for.
I disagree.
Really?
I think she is. I think of all the on-screen Lois Lanes, Kate Bosworth is the best.
Well, you're the outlier, my friend. I'm
fine.
Sorry, I can't.
That's fine. I'm also.
I will agree with you on many things. That one I just can't. But I would love to hear your case made on that.
Well, okay. So we start off with Margot Kidder, fine actress, not attractive, not that attractive. I'm just saying. So
what we saw in Superman, I'd have to say you're probably right on that. She was very attractive prior to. I don't think she was doing as well by the time she got to Superman.
Let's see. Terry Hatcher,
Mm-hmm.
hot.
Yes, absolutely.
Very campy.
True.
And then I go with the one from Smallville. She is a Superman fangirl. She's kind of a horn dog. And I just didn't like the way she was.
But let's go back to Noel Neal. Right? I mean, what about Noel Neal?
I'm not familiar with
the Adventures of Superman, George Reeve, you know, the
that's
serial.
Yeah, that's going back a ways. When I'm watching anything from that era, I was knee high to chair.
I get you. Honestly, I felt that the characterization that Margot Kidder brought was clearly drawing off of Noel Neal. They had it, and honestly, for what they had to work with, I would say that. And damn, I'm forgetting the actress's name, but the one that played her in Smallville.
I don't remember her.
If they had actually made it a Lois Lane centered, you know, Metropolis based storyline, I think she could have totally pulled it off, but that wasn't what she was meant to be.
No.
So much of these things, again, is good casting, bad role. Right
now,
just like I would say, Cavill was a great casting for Superman, but he wasn't playing Superman. You know?
Erica Durance. That's it.
Erica Durance. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Deleted.
Now I think that Brosnahan is going to knock it out of the park.
I agree. I think she has everything that I liked about basically every previous Lois Lane. You know,
right?
You know, that's something else I don't think we talked about. Is we talked about the trailer, we talked about Crypto, but Lois's scenes were also everything you need in a Lois and Clark relationship, right? Yes. It's very clear. Did you get the same impression I did that she was playing a Lois Lane that by this point already knows that Clark and Superman are okay?
Yep.
So great. Put all that aside.
Hopefully she's not still that stupid.
Well, right. Honestly, that's another thing that I think they did a good job with in Man of Steel, where at first she may not have known, but in very short order she knows.
And that's another one. I thought Amy Adams was completely miscast as Lois.
I agree, although I think she could have played the role if they'd have given her the right role, you know. In fact, Amy Adams, did you know? A little bit of trivia. Going back to Smallville, she was originally considered for the role of Lana.
Right.
And honestly, in my headcanon, in my imagined, you know, world where they got it right from the beginning, she would have been Lana.
The fan casting?
Yes.
Well, I mean that would work, and I will take the and I will take the and I'll take the heat for wow, Geek Flag. That is hurtful. That is hurt,
Wait, what
hurtful
did
there
he say?
for
I mean,
$2.
Crypto's a dumb character.
Yeah, I know you've
Crypto.
said that before. You're very much in the minority, though, Nate. It's just the reality of it.
It's a dog.
There's a good there
I can't even get a hate on for Streaky the Super Cat.
There
It's
is-
not necessary. It's silly, but you know,
there's a great animated film which for a while DC their animation was just knocking it out of the park. They got one at Batman Superman Apocalypse where they've got Kevin Conroy as Batman's voice. The name of the voice actor for Superman escapes me.
was it the dude that was in Wings? That actor?
Yes.
I can't remember the actor's name either, but
Daily.
right,
Daly.
Tyne Daly, right?
Daily. And then they had Summer Glau as Supergirl, and it is
That's
wonderful.
right.
Wonderful.
Great casting. She doesn't look the part, but boy, she played the voice acting very
Right. Now, I also get a lot of the heat switching from Superman to Batsy over here.
Yeah.
Where I say that the best on-screen representation of a certain cat is not Michelle Pfeiffer. It's Anne Hathaway.
I'd
I
say
know.
it's somewhere in between. I'd say it's somewhere in between, given a choice. You know, I mean, I think that there's a lot of things about the Tim Burton everything is overly stylized.
Very
right?
much so. Very much so.
But kind of in the right spirit. And I feel like Christopher Nolan's Superman kind of goes to the opposite side,
A lot
where
more
it's
grounded.
a little under stylized. I think
Right.
somewhere in the middle is where it really is the sweet spot. Maybe a little closer to Christopher Nolan, yes, but
I mean,
I think he was overcompensating a little bit.
my thing and nothing. This is not a slight. This is not a slight against the Michelle Pfeiffer in any way, shape, or form. I just watched. The Batman Returns again last week. Love that film. It is a fine Christmas film. Just saying. So,
Yes, true.
and then I watch, the Dark Knight Rises. It's a bad film, but Anne Hathaway is closer to what Selena Kyle is.
True.
Selena Kyle was not a secretary. She's
Right.
a thief.
Agreed. Absolutely, I agree. There's a lot of things about the Michelle Pfeiffer portrayal I liked. Her
Another
origin
costume.
story really isn't it. Her Selena Kyle pre Catwoman is really not it. However, one thing I will say, and I feel the same way about Penguin too. I think that this modern Penguin that you were talking about, which I never actually saw an episode of, but the
You should.
clips I've seen and whatnot,
You should.
is
You really
in a
should.
lot of ways to the Penguin what Anne Hathaway's is to Catwoman, that kind of a thing.
And you really should watch it.
The one
It's very
thing
good.
that I will
It's very good. It's very
Of-
good.
of characters that didn't exist prior to their introduction, like the Max Schreck character, right? Boy, I think that if they had made Batman Returns into 2 movies, with Max Schreck between the two,
As
you
you
know what I'm
know,
saying?
2 movies with Max Schreck.
Yes, very good,
Okay.
very good.
Okay.
Like
Let's
one
not-
of him doing his thing, and then by the end getting arrested, and then him getting out in the second one, that would have given you the right payoff for the corruption and everything with Cobblepot. And then in the second movie, that gives Michelle Pfeiffer's character the opportunity. The law doesn't apply to people like him. Well, she's kind of right then, because you saw him get out of prison because of good lawyers or
Right.
whatever. But they didn't do that. They tried to squeeze too much in.
Well,
And-
there's that, and McDonald's couldn't sell Happy Meals based on.
Don't even get me started on the McDonald's element of it. McDonald's being the one that killed Batman. You're absolutely right.
And then
Um,
and then for 2 films we got freaking Joel Schumacher. Oh God, that was bad.
I know that went completely the opposite way. I'll tell you, the best toys, in my opinion, came out of the first 2 Batman movies.
Yeah.
And look, I'm sorry that they were a little too adult for kids to go see. You could say the same thing about the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Okay,
Yeah, a little bit,
I
yeah.
mean, I had a buddy who wouldn't let his kids go see that one because of how cold it was in that alleyway when MJ is kissing. And I'm like, I understand that. You might have to wait until you're a little older to see this, but that doesn't mean you can't get the toys, and that doesn't mean you can't read the comic books.
Right.
You know?
And then I think the only good casting that came from the Schumacher films was Carrie, the Riddler. I thought that was the best casting.
Yes, I agree.
Because
Again, they put too much into that movie by having the 2 villains and Robin, and it's like there's not enough character development. You can spread this out. You can get more movies out of this if you stop trying to squeeze it all into one.
Well, yeah, and then stop trying to squeeze a love angle in there. Again, nothing against Nicole Kidman, but she was unnecessary.
A very unnecessary character. How much better would that character have been if it had not been hadn't been a love interest for Bruce Wayne, and 2, maybe her name, instead of being Chase whatever, had been, I don't know, Harleen Quinzel.
Well, when did Batman Returns come out?
Batman Returns or Batman
Batman Returns is the I'm sorry,
Forever.
Batman Forever.
I don't know. I'll get it before the 30-second delay though. Batman Return. No, Batman Forever. 95.
Now, okay, so that would have worked had you just shown up.
Yeah.
At the end, Dr. Quinzel, Harley
Yes.
Quinzel.
Exactly. And she could have had the same basic role, just drop the whole romance thing. That wasn't necessary, but as the supporting character and the whole Arkham thing and all that would have been great. That's planning ahead. That's not focusing on just one movie and try to get everything I want done in one movie.
Now, however, as good as that casting was of Jim Carrey as the Riddler, because it fit that type of film, was not the best Riddler we have seen on screen. In a terrible show called Gotham, the guy who played the Riddler in that was very good.
Yeah, I never saw it. I had no interest in seeing a movie about Gotham City without Batman. It just makes no sense. It was it was what we're getting too much of, a bunch of villain-centric stories.
Right.
Yeah. Specifically villain-centric. You know, and it's like I'm getting tired of movies about villains. Villains are only
Well, hold on here. Enough of the hatred here toward us. Villains.
But then again, keep in mind, though, I would not be too in favor of superhero-centric films if there were no villains. You need both. And
the villains are the best part of the story. I'm just saying.
Right? I mean, let's go back to the first Batman movie, right? You got... I'm sorry, but Jack Nicholson stole the show, right?
He was a terrible Joker. He's a terrible Joker.
Yeah, there was a lot of problems I had with that, especially the whole combination with Joe Chill. I think by trying to shoehorn that in again.
But Jack was just being Jack. He wasn't acting.
Yeah,
He was just being
that's
Jack.
not acting. That's true. That's absolutely true.
I mean,
although now in
please.
retrospect, you know, the voice actor for you know, you know, he's kind of turned out to be pretty much the Joker in real life. So I'm starting to wonder if he was even acting.
Well, I mean, he's a nutcase. There's no question about that.
I think his acting days were back when he was playing Luke Skywalker. Now I'm starting to think the actual actor was more the Joker, but who knows?
So I mean, I think we're moving into a bit. Hello, Charlotte Nightstar, the werewolf.
Yes, welcome. So good to see you. Where's your Harley Quinn?
Well, there's a picture of her right there.
Yeah,
I've got one of her over on the side. If you go to my channel and watch my content, you will see her in this. You'll see her in this little corner, right in this section here. You get a wider shot.
There's actually a great little short that you got up on your channel of
it is
with her in real life. That was pretty awesome.
Yes, I was at a con out here in my town, and Charlotte's a Batgirl. Well, we'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah.
But Tara Strong was there. Now Tara Strong eventually became into the animated series, but she started off as Harley Quinn from the Arkham games, because the original, because people think that she was the original Harley Quinn. I'm like, no, that's Arlene Sorkin. Orkin. But her first introduction into the Batman world as a voice, she was the second animated she was the second animated Batgirl.
That I didn't realize.
She was. Do you know who the first voice of Batgirl was?
Off the top of my head, I don't, but it's probably going to be a V8 moment when you tell me.
Laura Ingalls Wilder, Michelle de Melissa Gilbert.
No kidding.
True story.
Wow.
See, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I guess I can. I can see that, sure.
I can see it, but I wouldn't have guessed it.
No, yeah. Heck, back in the day, she could have played that role too. I mean, there's a lot of people that I feel like, and this is where there's value in not only animation, but this modern, you know, CG type animation, de-aging type stuff, because you can, although I'm not suggesting, I don't think we should do that. I don't think we need to have one actor play a role forever. When you marry yourself to only Harrison Ford can play Indiana Jones,
right? You
got a problem. You know, you should treat these characters the way they treated James Bond. Every now and again, well, it's just time to recast, you know. But anyway.
And Charlotte had asked for Joker's channel. I just dropped that in the chat.
Yeah. So that's right, because this was a last minute thing we would have otherwise had. Later on, we'll add it to the description below. Yeah.
There we go.
Right.
Pin to the top. There you go.
Now,
anyone who wants to subscribe to Joker Voice can just click on that link at the top and be taken right to his channel.
Now you mentioned the old George Reeves Lois Lane.
Yes.
I'm just my first introduction to the Bat was, of course, the Adam West,
sure,
Ford, Yvonne Craig. Just
stop it. I mean, no doubt about that. Although that's also good for the Star Trek fans. She was
Slave Girl.
Well, I can't remember which Orion she was.
Let's see. For
in one
Halloween one
episode.
year, I dressed as the other one. Not
You dressed as the Julie Newmar,
Julie Newmar, yeah.
Catwoman.
Oh.
That's right. She's
Julie
got
Newmar
that costume.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Which, again, such that. I mean, you went from Eartha Kitt to Julie Newmar to Lee
Merriweather.
Heather. I mean,
I'm not sure that was the right order, but yeah, pretty much.
kind of.
Did you by chance see the animated features of the Adam West?
Oh, no. No, I didn't.
Oh yeah. No, there was two of them, and in the first one there's this great bit where Batman gets clonked in the head and he's looking up at Catwoman and he sees her in triplicate, and it's the three different versions from
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Including the Eartha Kitt in the middle, and I laughed so hard. I thought that's
awesome.
Brilliant.
I believe, and then of course I watched, the Super Friends, the Challenge of the Super Friends. Again,
yes. I've got that on DVD. Yeah.
And it wasn't for a time. Didn't Adam West and Burt Ward do the voices of Batman and Robin?
Yes, they did. It was the New Adventures of Batman.
Okay.
Maybe it was the New Adventures of Batman and Robin. I forget. But it was that time period when they introduced Batmite. But
yes,
they were doing the
voices. Batmite. Wow.
And then when they moved to the Super Friends, it was different actors.
Okay.
But eventually they did then bring them into the Super Friends as well.
Right.
In the later eras when it was when they were starting to get more international and they had the Samurai and all those other new characters. Yeah.
Apache Chief and all them.
Right.
So I also remember, because this was right around the same time. I think that this was may have been a little bit earlier, but they had the Star Trek cartoon, and the cast did all
yes
the voice work too.
Everybody except they didn't get and this was not because they didn't want to do it, it's because they didn't want to pay for them. They didn't bring back what's his name, the one that played Chekhov, Walter Koenig. They didn't bring him back, but Leonard Nimoy had to fight to keep Uhura and Sulu.
Really? Wow.
And the upside to keeping Uhura especially was that Uhura and Nichelle Nichols and Majel Barrett did multiple female voices throughout the show, just like Scotty did a bunch of, because he was a voice actor, so he did a lot of different roles.
And that's quite common for a animated series.
Yep.
You're not going to hire one person for every single voice. You've got one person who will do like three voices.
Exactly. That was that, and those were actually some of the stories that the Star Trek animated series did were some of the best stories. They were written by some of the best sci-fi writers of the day, and they took advantage of the medium because they did things with aliens that they couldn't do in live action at the time. It was actually kind of brilliant. So you'd have like these avian creatures with wings that could fly, or plant creatures that could walk on their tendrils and stuff. There was one that was really weird where he could like remove his head and his arms or something like that. And it was like, well, that's weird, but okay. Something they couldn't do in live action.
Right. And, and we talk about these series and whatnot. And my dad was a big OG Star Trek fan. It was that he watched that, and he watched MASH. Those were his two things.
MASH was good. MASH was good. That was a gut punch with that last episode, but
he cried.
Man, I did too. A lot of people did.
But Star Trek, I look at a character like Uhura, and I'm like, what an important character she was. Just the actress, the role she had, and what they were able to do to really push the boundaries of what was acceptable in TV at that time.
Well, in the animated series, she got to take the command seat.
Oh, Okay.
in one episode, and it was the goofy way that they often did these kinds of things. Something happened to all the men, and the women had to literally take over. So Nurse Chapel had to take over sick bay, and I think it was Rand had to take over engineering, and she took over the command.
Awesome.
And it was, but if you think about it too, Uhura was in line for command. She was
Right.
in the command branch.
Right.
And did they, I can't remember if they said in the movies she ended up getting her own command or not. It might have been a throwaway line. I don't think we saw her as a captain, but I think she received the rank of captain, and I believe she got her own ship. Maybe that was in the books. I don't know. But
Right.
anyway, yeah. Wow, man, we've been yes, it was called Siren Song. That's what that was the episode. Thank you, Mark. He's he knows the original series actually, I think, better than me. Although I give him a run for his money when it comes to Klingon lore.
Right.
But did you know the TV series MASH? Yes, lasted longer than the actual Korean War. That's right. That is absolutely true. In fact, I remember somebody saying that you would have to take, because it was a weekly show. If you were to assume that, you could condense it down based on each episode being a day, it might work out. But the actual seasons for years, yeah, it lasted longer than the war actually did. And let's face it, it was set during the Korean War, but it was more meant to be a commentary on war in general,
Correct.
specifically Vietnam. So that's fine. I just thought it was cool that they were in a mobile army surgical hospital, distilling their own gin. I thought that was the best part. I'm like, yep, that would be me if I was going to war. Damn right. Plug it into my vein.
And apparently they were very good at it.
Yeah, apparently it was good gin. Well,
I mean, gin is not good anyway, so I'm not a fan
Well,
of gin.
Well, that's my question. Was it really gin? Because what is gin but vodka that's infused with juniper?
Right.
Where did they get juniper from?
Right.
Were
So
they just making vodka? They were just making vodka and calling it gin.
Or if anything, it's a form of this moonshine.
Yeah.
Basically, is
Yeah.
to what they're making.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. But I'll tell you. Yeah, I just recently found out exactly what Applejack is. I want some now very badly.
He won't stop talking about this Applejack stuff.
I know. I got to get me some.
Do they sell it at Benny's?
I don't know. Or do you have to make it yourself? I can. I probably could.
I mean,
it's basically if you've ever had hard apple cider, right? And you freeze it, alcohol doesn't freeze.
Right.
So the part that's left, it's very, very high proof alcohol from apples. So yeah, you probably have like 2 shot glasses of it and you're going to be done.
Okay. I like, okay.
But from what I hear, it tastes really yummy, and I want to try some really, really bad.
I mean, I'm not opposed to anything that tastes like Applejacks. I mean, Applejacks was yummy.
Yeah, exactly. And booze is nice. I like booze.
I like booze. It's fun.
So, are we looking forward to 2025? Is this going to be a better year than last year?
I mean, the better as opposed to. I mean, that's what metric are you?
I'm just thinking we have had some really crappy films. Our franchises have sucked.
Well, yeah.
Are we turning the corner? I think we're turning the corner.
I think as far as general entertainment goes, yes, I think we're going to get better stories. There's still going to be some of the leftover stuff that just has to get out, and you just got to suck it up and deal with that.
That's the thing to remember. Even if you decide today, we are going to the sensible center, no more woke, nothing. Well, unfortunately, you still got about 2-3 years worth of projects
Right.
still in the hopper, and they
Right.
either have to bury it and willow it, or they have to put it out and a lot of this stuff is just going to go to their streaming services anyway. So
Right. Now, as far as what I do on YouTube,
Mhm.
2024 was a great year. Absolutely great year. And
That's what I've heard. Yeah, for the
it's-
wrestling, you mean?
Right. And it's going to get even larger because the WWE it's already started now as far as like some of their catalog stuff, but
Mhm.
starting the Monday here in the United States, their flagship show Raw
Uh-huh.
leaves cable TV
Uh-huh.
and is now on Netflix.
Interesting.
So in the United States, you get Raw on Netflix and their library of stuff.
Wow, that is really interesting.
Oh,
And when does the season start?
the season starts on this starts on the Monday, January 6th.
Okay.
Now, as far as the rest of the world goes, they get Raw, they get SmackDown, they get the developmental brand NXT, they get the catalog, and they get every premium live event on Netflix.
Wow. Nice.
And this is a 10-year, $5 billion deal.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
and I know it's popular, and it's never been really political. So I mean,
right. And it's again we talk about genres, sci-fi, fantasy. These are all niche audiences. Pro wrestling is also a very niche audience, but it's just doing the same thing. It's telling stories through another medium. That's all.
Yep. I always thought that was interesting because they get into the relationships and the behind the scenes and the
oh yeah.
I don't know. I want to say fighting, but it means something different in terms of not the wrestling in the ring. I mean the fighting behind the scenes
right.
too.
There's as I've called it numerous times, and a lot of folks have too. It's a soap opera made for guys.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at. Yes, exactly that. Right. Good stuff. Yeah. I felt like you're gonna laugh at me for this. Back in the late 80s, early 90s,
Okay.
there was a show that a so-called reality / sports type show that kind of seemed to want to model itself after wrestling. And that was American Gladiators.
Loved it.
They
Love that show.
But they never did capture that element of it, the drama behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. And I think if they had, it would still be around today.
American Gladiators was the precursor for American Ninja.
I thought that too. It does seem like they're in the same wheelhouse.
It is
kind of
because the Gladiators were really not the main focus. It was the two folks who were competing. to win that episode. So that's where that was from. And this is just you just take the Gladiators out and just add a big obstacle course, and now you've got American Ninja.
You know who started out in American Gladiators? Gina Carano.
Yeah, her name was Crush.
Yep, and that makes perfect sense. that would be exactly right.
Yeah, she was in the revamp of American Gladiators.
Yep. But so I'm looking forward to 2025 for a lot of reasons.
Likewise.
I am feeling a lot better about a lot of things. Mark in the chat
I'm looking forward to my grocery is getting less expensive.
Yeah, I get you. I'm also looking forward to possibly, maybe not this year. It's going to take a little bit longer, but in the very near future, maybe my groceries start getting a little bit healthier.
Okay, Geek brings in an interesting question here.
Let me bring it up here.
Do I think Gina Carano will have her day in court, or will Disney give her whatever she wants just to keep away from Discovery? No, this is going to Discovery. Gina has says it's not about the money. She wants to clear her name.
Yep. I absolutely agree. I think that's exactly it. Otherwise, I'll be honest with you, she would have settled already. They made her a really good offer, and she said no.
Yeah,
and that's also why I don't think, because one of the terms that she said was she wanted to be reinstated as the Mandalorian character, Cara Dune, right? And I'm like, yeah, no, she doesn't really want that. That's one of those things you say that they won't give you because you want to go the distance with.
Or the other thing is, as soon as Elon Musk started to back her, it was kind of like,
it's not about the money now,
right? And plus the Cara Dune thing. That's something as you said, Troy. That's something you throw out there, and you are very willing, just like, all right, okay, I won't take that one. Fine, okay, I won't be Cara Dune anymore. Oh darn, I never really wanted it anyway.
Although, imagine if they said, okay, fine, we'll give you the rollback. You can play Cara Dune. I could totally see her doing it.
She got killed off screen.
Well, no, she didn't. They implied it. There was no body.
Okay,
it's one of those things where they totally could have brought her back if they wanted to, and if they gave her the rollback, I think she'd take it because that's how she is when it comes to the fans.
Wait, are they still showing The Mandalorian?
No,
they're planning to do like a movie or something to wrap it up.
A movie with.
It's basically going to be the Grogu movie. We know that's what it's going to be. You know?
And then
now we need to see the rest of Boba Fett to see if anything else.
There is not going to be any more Boba Fett. They did the one season, and they're not going any farther with that either.
Okay, now
even the good stuff that they did, they ruined.
Now and Geeks, and then Geek asks again. But if Disney gives her what she wants and a public apology, no,
that'll never happen. No, that'll never happen.
Kathleen, no, this is now because of everything that has been going on. You got the loss of Reedy Creek, which is just exposed a blank ton of stuff in as far as how Disney's done things. You've got the whistleblowers who have come to Alan Ng and Chris Gore at Film Threat, and just they have a great series called the Disney Files. You need to check that out. And now this on top of it, no, this is not about the money. This is not about just getting an apology. No, this is to clear her name.
This is very personal. She is a warrior. She is fighting. And honestly, I think that's why Elon backed her. I don't know this, but I speculate that behind the scenes, he came to her and said, if we do this, are you going to go the distance with it?
Yeah.
That was probably the agreement that they had. She said, oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Because according to Jay, she has the emails.
Yep. This is and when that goes to court this year, doesn't it?
I believe so.
That's another thing that's coming up in 2020. This is going to be a great year. I want to make sure I live through this year because I want to see what happens. This is going to be awesome.
I would, and I've dealt with a lot of Disney stans or who mean well, and I just like Star Wars. Well, I like Star Wars too, but you
But
gotta
we haven't
follow-
seen Star Wars since Disney bought them. So, you know, I mean, just saying.
Okay, geek. I mean, okay, if you back me, okay. Whoever said what is kind of irrelevant.
Well, either way, it comes out
Right.
the same. Whichever one said it, you know.
I mean,
And look,
here's here.
and you know that he was behind it as soon as he said, you know,
Disney. Oh yeah, let's go. Hey Bob, go.
hey Bob. Yeah, that's what I was
yourself.
thinking. Hey Bob, yeah, you know he's going the distance. That's all. Everything he's been. He's another one. He is a fighter. He stands on principle and he goes after it. I don't care if you agree with him or not. You got to admire that he. And this is the only reason people are successful. You can hate the successful people, but they are determined.
Right. I mean, him wanting to put, computer chips in everyone's heads. I'm not down with that, Elon. No, let's put that idea away and never touch that idea.
Well,
Again.
I'll be honest with you. I am not opposed to any research, just as long as you don't make it some kind of a mandate, because honestly, some of the technology,
because that would never happen.
Well,
Because that would never happen.
No.
Never.
Well, I know exactly what you mean. They're trying to do it again. They're trying to do it again. But no, this idea of being able to, for people that have lost limbs to be able to control limbs, people that are paralyzed being able to maybe walk again. Absolutely, I think this research needs to happen.
Yes,
but no, I do not need the internet, plugged into my brain. It's rotting our brains, and it's not even, a direct neural link.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. But yes, and I agree. Mark says this all the time when we bring up Disney. Defund Disney. I agree, and we have been. It's just that they're coasting on their
Thank you, Charlotte. I will sleep well tonight. I will sleep with both my eyes closed. This brat girl is nowhere around.
Yeah, there you go.
Which by the way, the animated film, The Killing Joke, the first half.
Oh God! I do feel like I want to take it because I don't own it
as two films.
Exactly. I could totally take and do a fan edit of it to turn it, into the actual film representation of that original comic book.
Which I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you got Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, Tara Strong. Okay, applause. Yes, it's
exactly.
But I mean, the first half of it, I'm like, But then when you get into the actual Killing Joke, the almost panel for panel, the word for word, when Mark Hamill goes on those little monologues, I'm just like,
yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll have to check that out then, because I did love the Killing Joke, so maybe I would like the part of the animated feature that is actually the Killing Joke.
Yes.
I'll check that out. Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, we've kept you probably longer than you were intending. I'm so glad you were able to.
No worries.
Get in here.
Yeah, I got you a couple extra subs too.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah. Normally on Thursdays, Thursdays, I'm hanging with another friend of ours, Roman of the Empire. So another great guy.
Yeah, I kind of steered you into the DC fan lore because I'd been aching to talk about it. But I do want everyone to, and I know we've got wrestling fans in here. Make sure you check out his most recent stuff because he's doing some great work with that, and he's got a backlog of great DC commentary too.
Yes, you can.
What?
I
got-
I
Okay.
I got Troy some Jammy Dodgers, which I wanted for Christmas for him, but
They
it
didn't
came
come
too
until
late.
this today.
So he's like opening the package and trying to get it. It's
Oh.
like, can you wait a few minutes until we're off
No.
the air?
He's
No,
like a
I
child.
want
I
a
like-
Jammy Dodger now.
I like it. Yeah, that's great.
Hmm.
So I just finished editing my video for tomorrow, and I'm about to upload it. And I thought, oh, come over and talk to Troy and Netter. I haven't talked to you guys in a while.
Super appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah.
You are wonderful,
Of
and
course, you're always welcome.
Oh,
absolutely,
Stop.
absolutely.
Stop. No, don't stop.
Stop. Don't stop. Keep going. No, seriously. But yes, good friend of the channel, and I'm so glad, because it would have just been me and Netter talking, which would have been fine. We were going to give our 2025 update, but we could literally do that at any time. Another entertaining Thursday. Thank you, Netter. Thank you again.
Thanks, Nate.
You are absolutely the sponsor of tonight's stream.
Yes,
Right?
Nate,
definitely.
super appreciate you. You are wonderful. But we got a lot of
He wants to keep me in Malibu rum.
yeah. I'm gonna get Netter liquored up tomorrow night because she's
Malibu
earned
rum?
it.
Okay. Malibu rum's okay, I guess.
Well, because she likes the coconut rum with pineapple juice. So
That makes sense. Gotcha.
yeah, no, she doesn't. She doesn't drink any other kind of.
Oh,
Malibu.
by the way,
Mm-hmm.
just take that and do it right before you add your ice in there. Cover the bottom with just a little grenadine.
Tequila Sunrise.
Kind of,
Pretty close.
but with Malibu and pineapple juice.
That does sound good.
Oh,
But
it does sound good.
that's right.
Yeah, they do.
You know your mixed drinks. I could have
I've
done a
known-
whole stream talking to you about just mixed drinks.
I've been known to make a few
Yeah.
here and there. I've been doing it for 17 years out here in Las
Yes, you
Vegas.
have.
So
Yes, you have.
Well, you know, I've got all 2025 open.
Yep.
So you want to come back anytime, just let me know.
If you're ever
You got it.
available on a Friday night, we'll pull you in and we'll have a drunk stream.
ooh,
Yeah, you could talk about drinks. We could talk
Yeah.
about drinks on
Alright.
my stream.
all right.
Absolutely.
We can make this happen.
But anyway,
Flex says I should try a Rum Haven. It's much better than Malibu. It's made with real coconut water.
Actually, if you want a good proper drink,
mhm.
a Gentleman Jack Old Fashioned.
Gentleman Jack Old Fashioned. That sounds good. That does sound good.
I taste.
I do like an old fashioned. I really do.
It's a nice little sipping drink. You just kind of, and you feel sophisticated too, as opposed to be just taking shots of Jameson, which Jameson is the whiskey. It really depends. Sometimes it goes down real nice and smooth and nice and warm, and it feels all yummy. And there's sometimes it feels like you're drinking water from the seventh circle of hell.
Well, it depends on how well hydrated I go into a Friday stream. But I've got my Jameson sitting in the freezer, and then I
Nice.
pour it over whiskey stones, which are also in the freezer.
So it
And
stays
then
nice and
I
cold.
sip it over the course of
Nice.
the
Yeah.
2
And
hours
Troy
or so.
has realized that I will only drink Malibu rum because he accidentally got me what was
Parrot
it?
Bay?
What's it?
No,
like-
it wasn't Parrot Bay. It was
Smirnoff or something?
no, it wasn't Smirnoff. But
No, it's a
Smirnoff
vodka.
is
I
a
keep
vodka.
saying Smirnoff, but Smirnoff's a vodka.
I don't remember. It was something other than Malibu, and she was like, "Oh, this doesn't taste right."
No, it was awful.
Oh no!
I don't know.
I think we bought it because it was on sale, and it was just like, oh, this stuff is nasty.
It wasn't
I actually
Captain,
hated
right?
it.
It
Oh
wasn't-
yeah, it was. It was whatever Captain's coconut rum was.
Parrot Bay.
Oh, that is Parrot Bay. Okay,
Mhm.
I didn't realize. Okay.
But Captain,
I've also
Oregon Spice
also-
was quite tasty.
I will never, and I've told her this. I've grown up. I've got the money. I am no longer buying booze because it's cheaper. I am never, ever again going to buy any kind of booze that comes in a plastic bottle ever again. You know? And
next on Troy's list, Louis the 14th. Cool. We're having drinks that night.
there we go. And basically what it comes, and it doesn't have to be expensive either. It's if I like it. I've got to like it. If I don't like it, I'm not drinking it.
Amen to that.
And I will spend the money to enjoy it or not have it at all. That's all I'm saying. So.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Oh, Bacardi. Coconut. Oh, that
Bacardi.
Terrible.
Maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible.
Nick remembers.
That's what it was. No, yeah, he remembers that she went on a little bit of a screed about it. So yeah, it was.
Don't blame you.
In fact, do we still have that Bacardi? Because I don't drink it. Yeah, that was a bad mistake on my part. It really was. I mean, I should have known if I was going to get something for her and I wasn't sure, I should have at least gotten something that I would have drunk if she didn't want it. But
there you go. That's always smart to do.
I blew it. Anyway, I'm sorry. I've monopolized your time and your show way too much tonight.
It's totally fine. So, what do you have coming up, Joker Voice?
I've got a video coming out tomorrow where I'll be highlighting some names that will be returning to the WWE as far as your TV screens go for the year 2025. It's a physical sport, so injuries do happen, and we'll see some new faces. We'll also see some new faces on the main roster, just who I think will be showing up. And then Wednesday is the return of Wednesday Night is Overbooked. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. With myself, Left Eye Ego, Matt the Unbearable 73, and Brad Duke Devil 95. So yeah, stop on by. Again, I've got tons of A-lists. If you have a separate laptop or a separate device or something, you can just open up a browser, just turn the volume on low, and just let the stuff play because I need the hours.
Yeah, there you go. And look, as far as I know, there's nothing else going on Wednesday, so make sure you're watching his Wednesday stream whenever you can.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's all I got. Well, I should let everybody know that for my members, those of you that reached out to me, I am going to be sending out those DVDs this weekend, the Star Wars Holiday Special. You asked for it, you're getting them. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's 3 discs. It's the original upscaled version of it. The Thank the Maker cut, which is the one we watched most recently, which you guys really enjoyed. And then a DVD extras with a bunch of related content that I think you're all going to really, really like. So, there you go.
And by he's sending it out, he means me.
Okay.
Well, I finally got it together so that she can. Yeah, she's the shipping maven.
So yeah, I'll try to get that together this weekend so they could go out on Monday. I think I got boxes for those, so yeah, I should be good. If not, I'll have to cobble something together. And
can you smell what the Joker Voice is cooking?
Yeah, but I thank you for the reference. I am not a Rock fan. I actually can't stand The Rock.
I'm becoming less and less of a Rock fan the more he.
So it's more you're not a Dwayne Johnson fan.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, I don't like Dwayne, and as a wrestler, I never liked The Rock either. So I was more of a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Jeff Hardy, CM Punk kind of guys, the smaller, more technical, not powerhouses and big steroids.
I guess I kind of like the idea of him, kind of keeping alive his father's legacy and so forth. I loved seeing him play his father in that 70s show. I thought that was brilliant.
There is that, but he he got his start in the WWE, not because of who his but not because of who his father is,
True.
from who his mom is,
Yeah.
because
There you go.
it's his mom who has the legacy last name, not Rocky Johnson.
There you go.
There you go.
And Nate is asking you about Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold's great. Stone Cold's great. He no longer lives in Texas. He has moved out here to just outside of Las Vegas. So he is out here.
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Cool. Troy, tomorrow night over on Last Call with Troy Pacelli.
I am very, very behind on getting that stream together. Boomer is after me to let him know what my contribution is. We are going to be talking about 3 each between Boomer and myself of our favorite 1980s music videos.
Okay.
And
Wow.
I need to get that list of 3 to him so he can put the visuals together for us.
Gotcha.
But
Well,
we're talking 80s videos. Yeah.
I do have to do one more thing. Also, next week, I will be back on with Roman of the Empire. That is Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific time. We will be going over the movie. We're actually going to be doing the series, starting the Riddick series, starting with Pitch Black.
Wow, I remember. Well, that's actually the only one that I've seen in the series, but I love
Really?
that movie. Yeah, I didn't realize they had done sequels, and then they were so far into it. I'm like, I gotta go check it out. So,
That's good. Good
but
stuff.
And then
Saturday's you.
Saturday is me. On Saturday over on Retro Cinema, right here on this channel, we'll be watching the movie Fame. There's a blast.
Gonna live forever.
Irene Cara.
Irene Cara. Okay.
You
Yeah,
get to see her boobs for you guys.
yeah,
to-
that's right. You do. You get to see her boob. Back when they used to make R-rated films, and it was visually interesting.
Back when films were fueled by capitalism and cocaine.
Yes.
They were better back then, weren't they?
More coke, less woke. More coke,
Yes.
less woke.
I like that. I'm going to steal that.
Well, you would be stealing that from Tom Connors. So
That's fair. That is fair.
I'm not going to go through the whole gambit of the week, but my guest next Thursday is the guest I was supposed to have this Thursday. He had a family emergency, so we had to reschedule for next week. The family member that was having an issue is doing much better, so yeah, that's really good. So of course, family always comes first. If any of y'all are ever a guest on my show and you have a family situation, family comes first.
Absolutely.
I'll always be understanding. I mean, Troy and I can talk about just about anything. We'll make stuff up. And we have to, but yeah.
But speaking of family,
Speaking of family, y'all know what I always say. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well good and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat and you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. Hi, Sashi.
yeah,
It feels like we're all hanging out in our family room. We're passing the popcorn and we're having a great time. And you guys, you're not our friends. You're our family.
Yep.
We love you guys and we appreciate you so very much. And you could be anywhere right now and you're here. That's so encouraging. I love seeing you guys here. And some of you that popped in that I haven't seen for a while, I really enjoy seeing you guys because I miss you.
Yep.
Whenever you guys aren't here, it's like, where are they? Are they okay? Do they need anything?
Yeah.
So I really do enjoy seeing all you guys in the stream. I know some of you have even popped in when you haven't been feeling well. Just say, I'm not feeling well, but I wanted to say hi. And it's like, oh, that's so sweet. No, go take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys are Osmo. And I appreciate you so very much. You have encouraged all of us so very much, not just us on the panel, but for all of you in the chat as well. You're always encouraging each other as well. And the way that you support our channels, I mean, it's just mind blowing. I mean, my sponsor for tonight's stream has been Geek Flag with Nate.
Yep, exactly. And Jameson. Wouldn't it be awesome to have a sponsorship like that? I want that so bad.
I will again. I'm not pushing a product just because they're paying me to do it. I actually like the product. So
right.
So Jameson, if you're out there, if anyone's out there, call me.
Yeah, I feel the same.
I figure I've made it when Factor wants me to sponsor them.
Factor.
Because like everybody just Factor. So like if Factor approaches me and says, we want you.
I'll tell you what though, that food actually does look good.
It does. I'm thinking of trying them out. I gotta get one of the codes from one of the other YouTubers.
From one of the other YouTubers, right, exactly. Okay.
But like I said, you guys are amazing. Thank you for the many, many ways that you support all of us. And until next time, which will be tomorrow night over on Troy's channel, good night and God bless.
Take care.
Bye.